everybody. Welcome to the show. This is TED Talks Too Much. And we've got another great one for you today. I am Ted Moss, ex-sorority house server, stand-up comedian, and your host. We are located in the OK Boomer Studios, just outside of Flint, Michigan. That's right, Flint, Michigan's water wonderland, where they are still today, wondering when they'll get some clean water. But while we all wait for that to happen, let's talk. And on today's show, my special guest is Veronica Douglas. She grew up in my neighborhood on the wrong side of the tracks, but is blessed with an outstanding wit, a great sense of humor, and let me tell you, she is one funny lady. We're going to be talking about social work, hairy women, and a little bit about white privilege. Stay tuned for that. All right, just a quick announcement before we get the show started today. I am proud to say that TED Talks Too Much is now being downloaded in more than 55 countries around the world. I'm not really sure why or how people are finding us, but I tell you what, me and all my funny friends are thrilled that you are. And to celebrate, we have a brand new Talk Too Much logo that is available to you today on t-shirts, sweatshirts, phone cases, and pop sockets. Who knew that pop sockets were even a thing? All you got to do is head over to Amazon.com and look for TED Talks Too Much with the number 2, and then type in t-shirt, sweatshirt, or whatever. Get yours today. Certainly you must have a friend that talks too much. Might be perfect for, or buy one for yourself. Support the show. But we appreciate you tuning in and hope you like our gear. And by the way, the song in the background, that happens to be Ted the Fourth. With that, let's get back to the show. Let's do this. On today's show, we got a young lady that comes from the same neck of the woods as me, but at a much later date. She's one of the funniest people I know. I think she was born to do comedy. And you know what? If she keeps it up, you might just see her all over the country someday. Let's give an OK Boomer Studio welcome and learn more about my friend, Veronica Douglas. All right. Do you have any questions?
Yes. Can I get a portion of the proceeds?
Or no fucking proceeds.
Okay. All right. Well, no questions here.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. How you doing, Veronica?
I'm doing great, Ted. How are you?
I am so glad you're here.
Me too.
You know, it's been a while. I actually, I think I was talking about getting you on the show. What was it? 6 months ago? Quite a while ago. Yes. I mean, when I first started, we talked about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And you're finally here.
I know.
We should celebrate. Yeah.
We are.
Let's have a drink.
I am.
Veronica's actually drinking, what is it, scotch?
Yes, it's my first time drinking it too. It tastes rich.
All right. Yeah. That rich, get you drunk, fast drink.
Okay.
Okay, she's willing.
I'm leaving out of here with something.
Yeah. Hopefully it's nothing I value. No, I'm really glad you're here. What's going on with you? Are you doing stand-up comedy? You got a show coming up, I think, don't you?
Yes, I am actively doing stand-up comedy with a mask. I have a show tonight in White Cloud, Michigan. Never been there.
Do you know where it is?
My GPS is going to get me there. I hear it's by Grand Rapids. I've never been though.
So you're setting aside 2 hours or 3 hours to get there or something?
Yes, I am.
White Cloud, Michigan. Now, who puts on that show?
His name is Diaz Mackey. I met him at one of Mike Ball's shows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he asked me to come out and feature for him tonight, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've never been there.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, you think it's a little town which is a suburb of Grand Rapids?
I'm not sure. He did tell me there was more black people there than Midland. So
It's inner city.
basically, I don't know what to expect, but anybody with the name Diaz and black,
Diaz?
yeah, and he's black. So I think if he can make it there, I'll be fine. I'll be all right.
All right. Well, Grand Rapids is a large city in the west part of Michigan for people that don't know. And that's what probably, it's got to be a 3-hour drive for you over there, I would think.
It's 2 hours and like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
To do, 30 minutes of comedy?
I think I'm doing 25.
25.
23 if they don't laugh.
Yeah. You got 2 minutes planned in for laughter?
Yeah.
I hope you get more than 2 minutes of laughter. You only get 2 minutes of laughter in 25.
No, I'm saying if they don't laugh, then I'm going to cut it down.
Yeah,
I'm 2 minutes.
out.
Yeah, 2 minutes, I'm out.
I've done that before. Yeah, I did that with at Tom Swan's show. I was actually headlining that show. And I think Cam Rowe, who's really strong, was like featuring. And I'm like, why is he not instead of me? And the audience was horrible. It was terrible. It was one of my worst sets up. You know, they say you're going to die.
Yeah.
I died at Tom's show. Yeah, it was horrible. And I had to do a half an hour. And I think I did 20. And I'm looking at Tom. He's going, yeah, come on.
Well, that's like the rule of thumb. If you're up there blowing it, just
say good night.
Exit. Yeah, good night. Good night.
Exit left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a rule of thumb.
Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. It's happened to me several times.
Yeah, you're pretty strong usually.
I can usually get a laugh out of the end, like, just a little chuckle and just get off stage, but I can tell when it's not.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
You haven't connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
It really happened to me. I wasn't able to get a chuckle. I did a domestic violence show with Mike Ball, but
hold it, domestic violence, and they decided, let's do comedy.
Yeah.
Let's all laugh about this shit.
Look, this is when I first started and I didn't have the knowledge to ask Mike, well, what kind of show is this? I know it's a fundraiser. What kind of show is
exactly.
it? And I went up there and I told a joke about my dad being a pimp. And smacking up my mama and the whole room.
No.
The whole room was like, and then I didn't find out why they didn't like me until the lady gets up after me and she's just a little sweet old white lady and she's like, we want to thank all our domestic violence survivors for coming out. And I was like, oh my God. I see what happened here.
I had the same thing, but I was actually trying to play to the crowd. I can't remember who it was. It might have been one of Sal D'Amelio's shows down on the river. And it was a fundraiser for Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. And in between those two, there's another group with a unique name. And so I was making fun of that group because they're called Wee Blows. Now, Scouts are in trouble to start with. And now you're naming a group of them Wee Blows? How do you become a Wee Blow?
The Scouts are in trouble already.
Yeah, they didn't like me. And I was playing to the crowd. I was on topic, I thought, but yeah, wrong crowd.
It happens.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you stronger.
Yes.
In this, is to keep going.
Yeah, that's why I quit doing comedy. Right there was that show. That and Tom's show. I was like, I've had enough. Actually, I just signed up to do a show. So
yay!
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
Whose show?
I'm going to do just a quick set for Bonto in about 6 weeks, just for fun. He always has a good crowd.
Yeah.
And Flint always likes me because, I grew up in Flint. As soon as I say that, they're going to like me. So it's an easy show for me.
Yeah.
And I want to do some new stuff, some different style stuff. So good place for me to do it.
Whoa,
we'll see.
Good
and
luck.
if I bomb, that'll probably be it. I'll call it a day.
You won't bomb.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, you know what? I don't know anything about your background. I know that you live in Flint. But I don't know where you grew up or where you came from. Were you born and raised in Flint always?
Yes, I was born and raised in Flint. Both my parents come from out of town, though. They met in Flint. My dad comes from St. Louis and my mom comes from Cleveland, Ohio.
How did that happen? Why'd they move here?
They didn't move here together. Jobs, GM.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Situation like that.
That was always the draw for Flint.
Yep. And they met here working at Hurley Hospital.
Oh.
Yeah.
They came for GM, but ended up working at the hospital?
Yep.
Did they ever work for GM?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
they
okay.
Did. But just like myself, my parents couldn't keep a job. So
They
it's
were there for a
hereditary.
while.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, that's how they got here and how I got here. But I grew up on the north side of Flint.
Right.
Like the Northwest side.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. Yeah. I mean, long before you, but same area.
Yeah, it was nice when I was growing up. I mean, it's kind of rough now, but
Yeah.
I grew up on that side of town, and I went to the local schools.
Did you go to Northwestern High School?
I went to Northern.
Northern?
Yes.
Was Emerson still up and running right next door to Northern?
No, they turned it into Anderson.
Oh, because I went to Emerson, and that was pretty tough school. When I went there, they're going to beat you up on the first day of school. It didn't matter who you are. Honestly, they're going to lie out the sidewalks. Next. Beat the hell out of you. And actually, Forest Park there you had to walk by was kind of tough, too.
Oh, good.
And so I used to, because I lived over by Merrill Elementary School.
Yes.
Yeah, on Forest Hill.
Okay.
And then I lived on Comstock.
Okay.
But we had to walk past Forest Park to get to Emerson. And as soon as I started Emerson, my parents moved us out. My sister had been there a year. I started there, and they go, no, we're out. Our kids are not going to survive this neighborhood, I guess.
You got beat up?
Well, everybody got beat up, didn't they?
Me. No.
You didn't ever get beat up your whole life?
No, I have a sister who beats up everybody for me.
She's an enforcer?
Yes. Yeah, she will come at the beckoning call. Yeah.
Well, you must have lived a little bit past what? I mean, to go to Northern instead of Northwestern, you had to be a little bit more.
Well, the catch is, Ted, I could have my directions messed up. I grew up on Mallory and Forest Hill.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why I say like the Northwest type.
Yeah. I lived at the very end of Forest Hill where it bumped into Merrill Elementary School, 2 houses away from that.
Oh, yeah, that's bad now.
Well, I know.
You go down there now and try to tell them you from there, they're going to rob you.
Yeah, well, I'll go down there at 5 a.m. when everybody's asleep because they're all going to bed about 3. About 5, between 5 and 6, you can cruise the neighborhood.
Right.
You got 1 hour. Check us out.
You're right about that.
And drive fast. I was in New York City once, and I don't know much about New York, but a guy was giving us a ride back to the airport. Mm-hmm. I was there on business. And we got in the car and started driving, and he unbuckled his seatbelt, and he unlocked his door. And I said, why are you doing that? He said, well, in case we get carjacked, I want to jump out quick. And I'm all buckled in going, holy shit. I'm gonna be locked in the back when we get carjacked and you're ready to run? He's preparing to run. What neighborhood are we going through? I do not feel safe.
Oh, no. I've been in New York. It doesn't feel like a safe place. No place I went in New York felt safe at all.
It depends. It depends on where you go and what year you went there. I mean, when Giuliani was mayor, I guess they cleaned up a lot of it. So Times Square and stuff was a lot safer. Mm-hmm. Before that, it was all drugs and pimps and just bad area. But I guess it cleaned up for a while. But okay, so you grew up on the northwest side of Flint, and you went to the local high schools in Flint. Mm-hmm. And then after high school, did you get a job someplace in Flint immediately out of high school?
No, I worked all through high school, and after high school, I went to Wayne State in Detroit.
Oh, well, did you move down there or were you commuting?
I moved down there.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was so fun.
Was it?
It was lit. Oh my goodness.
It was a party?
It was lit. And you know what made it so fun and comfortable was that it was so many people from Flint down there and in school.
Yeah.
So it was just like being at home, you always had a ride back to Flint. And stuff.
Well, it's not that far away. Probably only an hour and a half or something like that away. So that's cool.
I seen some of the most interesting things in Detroit, though, because I got a job through the college for work study.
Yeah.
It was called the Urban Studies Division.
Okay.
So we canvassed door to door, just asking people if you need smoke detectors and stuff like that. It was like a AmeriCorps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I seen some of the funniest stuff ever when I was down there. Like, it was a guy, we was walking up to his house, and we just wanted to ask him a few questions and stuff, and he was like, I know y'all not the Social Security police, and he was like, whoa, wait a minute. He was like, my trial is coming up, and y'all got to tell me if y'all the Social Security police. Like, he went in the house and got his cane. I was like, oh my God. Sir, we just want to replace your smoke detector.
Is there a Social Security cop? I mean, are there people that are like checking out old people to arrest them or something?
I don't know, but if it is, I would definitely look into that job.
Yeah, sounds like an easy job.
Because older people kind of bother me.
Yeah. So you were down in one of the poorer sections of Detroit. Is that what you were doing and trying to help people out?
Yes.
That might not have the proper safety things in their house?
Yes.
Were you putting up handrails and stuff for people to walk and doing that kind of stuff?
No, we would do stuff like I said, replace the smoke detectors and stuff like that. But we mainly cleaned up neighborhoods of blight and
that's
stuff
nice.
like that. So that was mainly
so you got a whole crew of you coming in to do that.
Yep, we were sectioned in different parts of Detroit, and we'd do stuff like that, and we'd advocate for voting and stuff like that. So
did you do it primarily for old people?
No, it was whoever was in the neighborhood.
Oh, because I'm getting old. I could use somebody coming cleaning my yard once in a while.
And
I got some leaves coming down and I'd like to get below them and stuff like that. I actually, I went to the doctor the other day and I'm getting so old. My doctor asked me if I use handrails.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, yeah, sometimes. I don't know. I don't think much about it. She goes, well, have you put handrails in your bathroom? I'm like, how old do you think I am? I can still sit down on the toilet and get up.
Have you ever slipped?
No.
Okay.
She asked me that too. She said, have you fallen down last year? I'm like, a year and a half ago I went ice skating. I might have slipped then, but I'm generally just not falling down for no apparent reason. No.
Handrails are the bomb, though. I would put them in my bathtub if I...
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to put them in there for other purposes.
Exactly.
I know you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for fun and games.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Absolutely
need to know about that. Get my mind. I'm a single man here. I'm very lonely. So don't be talking that shit.
Another thing that is Scotch, you won't be.
Hang on, I'll go get the bottle. So anyhow, Wayne State, what did you study?
I studied social work.
Yeah, that sounds like that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
you'd be good at that, Veronica. You got a big heart.
You know why I stopped? I stopped because I went to a party on the east side of Detroit, and this guy was like, "What you going to school for?" Well, and I wasn't interested like that. But he was like, "What you going to school for?" And I was like, "Social work." And he was like, "Oh, dang." I was like, "What?" He was like, "You finna be fat as hell. All they do is sit down and eat snacks all day." I was like, "Ooh, he got a point."
So you liked everything about the career except the weight gain. You're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, well, you're in good shape. So, good thing you didn't go into social work.
Right.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Actually, when I was shoveling asphalt for my career while I was going to college, I did volunteer work at night. I did social work down at the Flint Regional Emergency Service. And that was down at the mental health place there on 5th Avenue downtown. Or is it called 5th Avenue right there? I think it is. But in any case, they trained me and I did telephone counseling. So people would call up and say what their problem was. And, they gave me 2 weeks of training. And then they put me on the phones and you had to answer whatever came in and you couldn't hand it off. And people would call in, I get done shoveling asphalt. I hitchhiked down to shovel asphalt all day. I hitchhiked back to my apartment where I share a bathtub with my neighbors. I get cleaned up and I walk down to this place to do volunteer work. And some lady calls me up and tells me her problem. I'm thinking, that's it?
Right.
Well, you should have my day. What the hell? I got asphalt splattered on me. What is wrong with you? Get used to it. It's okay. I had a lady call up and she said she was really upset. She honestly, sincerely was upset because she was going to have her hysterectomy. And she was afraid that her husband wouldn't think she was a woman anymore. And I'm like, do your parts still work? Okay. Yeah. I'm like, as long as everything's still functioning and you're not growing a beard, he's going to be fine with it.
What's wrong with growing a beard, Ted?
Got that goatee going.
Okay. What's wrong with a beard, Ted?
Why do older women start growing facial hair? What's up with that?
Why do younger women start growing facial hair? That's the question. I'm like, oh my God, am I drinking too much Hennessy?
Yeah,
what is this? That's why I'm in school right now, so I can wax this off, learn how to get it gone.
No, you really get some chin hairs?
No, you don't see them?
No, I don't see. You look great.
No, wait, let me get in my thinking pose.
Yeah, now. Yeah,
okay.
That goatee.
Okay.
I dated a girl who was, I think she was Italian. I remember she had a hairy ass, and I thought, well, that was okay with me. I was all right with that. I thought, that's okay. Kind of hairy. I don't mind that.
Did you slick it down with gel?
No. We did a little guerrilla warfare, but, No, I honestly didn't. I don't. You know how European women don't shave their armpits? I'm down with that. I'm okay. Doesn't bother me at all.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just natural. I'm
cool.
like, be you. I'm good with that.
I wish black men thought like that.
Yeah. What's wrong with white men?
No, nothing.
All right.
I just don't run into you much.
Well, there's only one of me out there. I think you could probably pull 1,000 men. There's only be one guy going, I'm okay with hair.
Right.
I don't care. You don't shave anything. Let your legs grow long. I'm good with that.
And it's crazy because I don't grow hair on my arms or my legs, but my face, oh my God, it's coming.
Really?
It's coming. And I see that a lot of men like will be jealous of me. No, I'm just playing. Yeah. But no, what I don't like about it is I've grown like semi comfortable with it because I know I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got nothing to prove. Yeah, I know.
And I've grown comfortable, and I'll be sitting there, and I'll just be picking at it.
And go, oh, it's getting long.
Yeah, like really thinking.
Yeah.
Let me think about that.
Well, can't you use some Nair, or aren't there hair removals, or aren't there light things you can do that kills the whole thing and it never comes back?
Well, I'm waiting until I get to this chapter in school because I want to do it correctly where I don't get these bumps and it don't come back stronger.
Yeah.
So I'm not really pressed about it.
You're in school now again,
Yes.
not for social work,
No.
for...
Aesthetics. I'm going to cosmetology school for aesthetics. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know what aesthetics are. I know what cosmetology... My daughter does hair.
Okay.
So she went to that cosmetology school, and there's a different wing of that does aesthetics.
Yes, aesthetics is waxings, makeup, full body waxings and massages, facials, the good stuff.
Can you make me look better? Is there anything in aesthetics that you can do for old white guys?
Yes, I do see that you have a few aging lines.
Yes, I do.
I got a
I have
cure
more
for
I
that.
can show you too.
Okay then. We ain't got to that chapter either.
Have some more scotch.
Okay. No, yes, but the facials and things and treatments like that, they benefit everybody, especially.
Yeah, but it's only women.
No.
Men are getting facials?
Yes, that is a growing industry.
Really?
Yes.
I got some of that black stuff you put on, and then you peel it off that cleans out your pores, and I do that every once in a while. But I kind of feel like it invites the rest of your oils to the surface. Once you do that, like a few days later, all of a sudden I've got pimples that I didn't have, and I thought, it's kind of weird.
Well, are you closing your pores back up once you get done? You have to close your pores back up.
Well, do you think the oil's coming from outside?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah, but the oil's not coming from the air. The oil's coming from inside me, right?
But it can come from the outside, inside. We got air pollution. You got certain climates and different temperatures that you're in. You
So I
stay
gotta
out here.
close my pore. Like rinse with cold water, right?
No. So what you want to do to close your pores is after you take that mask off, you want to wash your face. Not wash your face, but you want to just wipe your face with toner.
I don't have toner. What can I use instead of... What's like a...
Witch hazel.
Okay, something that a guy would have in his house. Witch hazel.
Scotch. You can use some scotch. Use some scotch.
God, your face smells very scotchy today.
But
That's okay. A pro told me to do this.
okay. Don't listen to me. I'm only
He
on
looks
chapter
good,
2.
He just stinks. All right. Thank you, Veronica.
No, but to close your pores back up to prevent the pimples after that, you do you moisturize after that? You want to put some moisturizer lotion?
No.
Moisturize.
I wash my face with my hands, basically is what I do. And every once in a while I put the mask on and I take it off and wash my face with my hands. And
Yeah, see,
I use a towel after that, basically.
See, the problem
I'm
is...
a guy,
The problem is you think you're on a Neutrogena commercial and you're not. They only show you one step, and that's the only step you're doing. No. You need to put some...
How good do I have to look at my age, really? People that are my age, their eyes are failing. They can't tell anyhow. And most people at this age stay far away from me. With the social distancing,
Yeah.
I'm looking good.
Yeah.
I'm looking good.
You are.
I'm looking better.
Let me take my glasses off.
Yeah, get back further.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that Tom Cruise across from me?
Well, I think that's interesting. So that's a growing field.
Oh, yes.
And you decide to get into, you might be good at that. You were selling some kind of diet health drink for a while, kind of a
Yes.
body. So you're kind of into the body health
Yes.
all the physical beauty kind of stuff.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really doing this so I can become more mobile with my income, so I can travel more and do comedy and make money where I go travel doing these things.
Oh, I think that sounds great. Mm-hmm. And then you can buy my little RV, and you can put advertisements on the side for facial treatments or whatever. And then we can put that chair you're sitting in the back of the RV.
Yes.
And then you could have makeup stations and all that stuff. You could do faces by day and be funny by night.
Yeah,
travel
that is
the country.
so nice that you want to give me that RV for this. That's,
And the chair.
bless your heart.
I'll give you the RV, but the chair is going to cost you $30,000.
Oh, God. I'll take that one.
Well, that's cool. So, did you ever do any social work?
No, I actually did 1 year at Wayne State. I was tired of packing my stuff up and coming back to Flint, and I only did that, twice a year. But I was tired of it, and it was expensive, so I continued my education at Mock Community College.
Yeah, well, that's a good school.
Yeah, but I didn't major in anything specifically. I just took a lot of different classes, and I got my associates in general studies.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I told my kids this, that a lot of people don't end up going into what they study in college anyhow.
Right.
But the nice thing about college is it gives you a wide understanding of a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So when you encounter people throughout your life in different environments, it's nice to have some kind of understanding or background. If you can't converse about it, at least you understand what they're talking about. It's good to have a little bit of accounting and economics and those kind of things if you're going to go into business, so you have a basic understanding. So when people start training you on that, you'll have some base to build upon. Mm-hmm. So I think, looking back at it, it's not the specialty classes that did the most for me. It's the general studies. It's getting that broad education that's important. Now, is it worth the money people are paying for it today? I don't know. It's pretty damn expensive.
No, it's not worth it. And like you said, at the end of the day, you don't, a lot of times you don't go into that field. It's not really what you want to do. You dedicate 4 years of your life to practicing something that you don't want to do.
Right.
I believe that any job you want to do out here in this world, you can be trained to do it on the job.
Yeah. I think so too, if you're trainable.
Yes. That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. But I'm really glad I didn't dedicate 4 years of my life to something like that, because at the end I wanted to be a clown. So
Yeah.
no clown college.
You're a good one though. You can do that naturally.
No clown college. So
Were you funny in high school? Were you always funny?
I love to joke around and stuff. I love, I guess you could say that. I've always been a jokester. My birthday is April 1st, so.
April Fool's Day, yeah.
I guess it just comes
But
with
did everybody know that you were the jokester? Did all your friends identify you as the jokester?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
See, that's cool. People didn't do that with me. I actually posted something about my comedy, and a girl that I had dated twice in my life for months at a time, 2 different times, 10 years apart in my life, replied to it, "I never even knew you were funny." Maybe I'm not.
That's funny.
No, it's true though. It's true. Well, it depends on, some people don't get you. Other people, do you have people in your life that just super get you? You just walk in a room, say 1 or 2 things, and they start laughing.
Yes.
They're like on your wavelength.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Yes. Yes. And I get so uncomfortable around people who don't. It's like.
Yeah. That was a joke. Don't you get it? That was funny.
Okay.
No.
But those are usually conservatives.
Yeah. Well, heaven knows what that is these days. I've always thought of myself as a liberal, but people are telling me that I'm not anymore. So I don't know. I'm not even sure I want to get into it. But, socially, I've always been a liberal, I thought, but maybe not. Maybe my economics are conservative, but.
I don't know what I am. I vote for the person who's going to keep the food stamps running, because I never know when I'm going to need them.
I'm an issue voter. I really am. I pick one issue.
Oh, okay.
And I don't vote based on personalities, or this guy said an asshole thing, or this guy did something 20 years ago. I vote on each election. I vote on some issue, something that's important to me, that I think is good for society or the country, or I'd like to see accomplished, that is possible. Okay. And I'll go, that's my issue this year. I'm voting for him because he wants to do this, or she wants to do this. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I'm always right. And there's great reasons to vote for the other person, but I'm voting for my issue each time because it's too complex, and everybody wants to talk about personalities and this and that. And I don't even care about that shit.
Right.
I'm just over it. I don't care. Everybody's an asshole sometimes.
Okay.
Even me.
Okay.
Even when you don't mean to be. I mean that shit happens.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, this went to a dead end.
Like every other political issue.
Yeah, I know. And so it should. So you never did any social work. You said enough with school. I'm out of here. And then you came back to Flint. You lived in Flint for your whole life. Have you traveled at all?
Yes, I've traveled to many places. Tennessee and South Carolina.
Oh, where'd you go in Tennessee? Do you remember?
Gallatin. It's about
cool.
30 minutes away from Nashville.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Did you make it into Nashville?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
but I was
cool.
so young then.
You got to go back.
I know.
You got to go back.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't able to get into the Hard Rock at all.
You can get in now.
I know.
They'll let you in.
Oh, yes. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's Cleveland.
No, it's one in it's the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Because I got to see like Ray Charles and stuff. He was in there and stuff. It was cool.
Well, the coolest club in Nashville. I had not been to Nashville ever until my daughter was golfing in college, and they had the match down in Nashville, and I went down there, and we went downtown, went through the city. But I think the coolest club was BB King's. They had the best musicians.
Yes.
And Nashville is filled with music. And you can go into tons of clubs that are free and see up and coming stars and really good musicians all over the place that are playing for next to nothing, trying to get exposures. But we went into BB King's and saw these groups that were just outstandingly good. I could have sat there all night, every night. Honestly, it was really, really nice. I think that was one of the few clubs you actually had to pay to get into, and maybe because it was in such high demand, but it was very cool. But you got to get back to Nashville. And I've been back there once since then, and I really enjoyed it. Nashville's a fun city.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful. They had like movies in the park and stuff. It was just very wholesome, and it was different sections of everything. But one thing that how I get my fix for Tennessee is I come out to this restaurant in Fenton, Beale Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like my Tennessee fix.
When
I want to feel like I'm at BB King's.
That's kind of a hidden restaurant. Now, most people don't know about that.
No, they don't.
No, they got great barbecue, everything. And I mean, they got the old time, really good stuff.
Yes, cornbread. I love it. And I went there because I met a friend, and he was performing there. So I watched the band that night. It was fun. And ever since then, I'll go about twice a year. Yeah, it's kind of a little hole in the wall, kind of hidden behind a gas station. It's kind of in a weird place. Yes.
And it's hard to get to. If you don't know where it is, you'll never find it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes it kind of cool. Have you been to the Speakeasy that's in Fenton?
No. What is that?
Do you want me to tell you about it?
Yes, please.
It'll wreck the surprise.
Is it expensive?
It's an expensive place to get a drink.
Well, go ahead and wreck it, because I can't afford to go there. Wreck that.
The cool thing about it, I didn't know about it. My daughter came here from California and told me about it, and I'm living in the town with it. But there's a place, and it's a taco place. And you go into this taco place, and there's people sitting around eating tacos, and there's glass between you and the kitchen area where they're making the tacos, and there's a little hallway on the side, like where you'd think you go back to the bathroom. And at the end of it, there's a pop machine, like a Faygo machine or something, built into the wall where only the front part of the door is sticking out of the wall.
Nice.
And if you push on the button, the whole front of the machine opens up, and the girl says, "How many?" And you tell them, and you walk in, and there's a high-end bar behind there. And she brings you into this black curtain area. Then it opens up to this speakeasy bar behind that. Then they all have all these specialty drinks and stuff.
Okay, Ted, you got to take me. That sounds nice.
I want an expensive drink. Okay. When I'm done with the scotch, that's next. Well, the cool thing about it is to take somebody who doesn't know what the deal is. And I've taken girls out like for dinner, and I'll meet them. They'll be all dressed up. And then I'll take them into this little funky taco place, and they'll go, "You cheap ass." You know, that's the fun part. And then you walk down, and it's, "Come on, and see, I'm gonna get one of these pops." And she's like, "What?" And she, she's all dialed up and shit. And you hit the button, and it opens up into a really dark and cool bar, and behind it where they have custom drinks and all that stuff.
That is so nice. How long has that been open?
Probably only a couple, 3 years. Not very long, but my daughter knew about it, and I'm like, what is this? And she's from the other side of the country. It's 2 miles from me. She told me about a bar. It's very, very cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, so you ought to go to that thing.
I will.
I
will.
But you got to take somebody, and you can't tell them. Last time I went, I had a date, and I took her up there, and I forgot my mask. It was in the car, so I left her standing out in front of the place. I said, you wait here. Don't go in without me. I ran back to the car to get my mask. By the time I got back, some guy sitting outside, she had said, is there a bar here? And he explained the whole thing to her. I'm like, dude, why would you even do that? Why? Now, I'm the one who's got to go back and buy the $15 drink for her, or $20 drink for her.
Right.
And you took the whole surprise away from it.
You dodged the bullet, though, Ted. She sounded friendly. You left her alone for 2 seconds. She all up in another man's face.
Is friendly. Yeah, she is friendly. Well, those are the other ones I meet. At my age, I got to be friendly. Otherwise, I'm not meeting them. When Billy and I were on tour, I was also looking for real estate. I was thinking about moving out of state. And the city I fell in love with was Knoxville, Tennessee. It's kind of like a large Ann Arbor.
Okay.
It's a college town, and it's right on the river, and it has mountains, and there's virtually no traffic. It's like Ann Arbor is probably 60,000 people. This is like 150,000, so it's bigger. The whole downtown, they have like a block cut out that's a big park area where they have 30 different festivals a year. They have all kinds of little pubs and eateries, and it's inexpensive to live there, and all the streets are clean. Even the graffiti's been redone on all the streets. All the theaters from pre-1929, which means their ornate architecture, have been refinished with new seating and everything. Everything's beautiful. It's a beautiful little hidden town, and it doesn't cost much to live there. Not a lot of traffic, and it's a college town. So you have the college sports, because University of Tennessee is right there. Or is it Tennessee State? I don't know.
Tennessee State.
Is it? Yeah, it's right there in town. So it's where Peyton Manning was the quarterback. So so they're a big, college town. It's like Ann Arbor. It's a college town, and it's a really nice place to live, and it's so scenic and so beautiful. So I was thinking I'd like to move there maybe.
Okay, well, wait till I get my license, and I'll sell you a house down there.
Yeah. What? I thought you were going to be in your RV with my beauty chair. You got to decide. You got to decide on what you're going to be. You are a woman who has a lot of different fingers in a lot of different things, don't you?
I just try to dibble and dabble because I like to be able to switch up at any given time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing real estate for the last 5 years, and I'm kind of over it. You know what I'm saying? It puts a cap on my income and all that stuff. So I just want to be diverse in all kind of things, so I can say at least I tried it all.
Yeah.
I might have not mastered anything, but I tried everything.
Well, anybody that becomes really successful has failed at a lot of things. It doesn't mean that they went broke doing them, but they've done them and said, yeah, this isn't for me, or I'm going to quit pursuing that, or I've invested enough time and effort into that. And it always leads to the next thing. I mean, I wrote a book, and so I was doing public speaking on my book, and I got frustrated with that, but I like public speaking, which led to stand-up comedy, and then I did stand-up comedy, which led to podcasting. So, I mean, I think if you just kind of go, well, I like this part of it. I like talking to people, and what's the next thing to do that I would enjoy doing? And eventually something will make money, I think. But at my point, I worked really hard at chasing money through my career. And then once I retired from my real work, I thought, what's fun? What would I enjoy?
Right.
What can I can afford to do what I want to do for fun now, regardless of income. I would like income, but I still eat pizza every Friday. Probably as long as I don't live more than 25 years, I'm probably good. But it would be fun to make some income along the way. But I'd rather do something I like doing, because I spent so many years working in the shop and working in construction and really dreading going to work on Monday.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I had periods where I worked 7 days a week, where I worked 10, 11 hours a day, 7 days a week for months on end. I had a time when I had 5 jobs at one time.
Wow.
I had a lot of jobs. So at this point, I'd like to do things that are fun before I die. It's time for me to have fun and enjoy what I'm doing, but it has to be a challenge.
You know what I think would be fun to you? And I think it would be a really, really great challenge, because nobody would suspect you or selling drugs.
Yeah, you know what?
Makes money. That would be a challenge for you.
Yeah, you don't know me, my younger me.
Oh.
Actually, other than heroin, I've done every drug there is to do.
Wow.
I was actually the drug connection when I was in college, so
wow.
I did a little bit of that. I never made a profit. I was just I knew where to go get stuff, so I would take orders. Like the weekend, you want mescaline, THC, PCP. What do you want? LSD, and I'd pick up the stuff. I was the connection for a lot of people because I did a lot of drugs. I mean, that's kind of the thing I did. But when I was a kid, I had a paper route. And when I was 14, when I was 14. And the weird thing about a paper route is it's 7 days a week. You don't get any days off. It doesn't matter if you're sick. Doesn't matter if it's raining. It can be pouring rain. You're delivering papers. It can be snowing, blowing.
Right.
You're out 7 days, every day, every single, no excuses. Doesn't matter if there's a concert, if it's holiday. It doesn't. 7 days. So it's a great training for having a career and being hardworking, being diligent, and I think it's a good starter job. But I delivered to over 100 houses. That meant there was 100 homes that had kids in them, and they couldn't be the paper boy because I already got the route. There's a very few of us that had the route. So I thought about it, and actually, if you live in the ghetto and you're a kid and you want to make money, in the paper route, I had customers. I had to deliver, and I had to deliver on time. I had to deliver the price. I had to collect my money. I also had to pay for my products. I had to tell them how much I wanted on what day and where to deliver it. So a drug dealer for a kid in the project's the same thing. Yeah. You got your location. You got to get what's your source you're buying from. You got to make sure you can get it okay. Yeah. You got to be able to protect it. You got to be able to store it. You got to be able to deliver it. You got to be on time. People can expect you to show up where you and you better have the right stuff too. So you think about it, it's kind of like almost the same training. And if you're the kid that's a drug dealer, that means there's going to be dozens of kids that aren't the drug dealer. You're the one. You're the entrepreneur. Now, the difference being you got no protection. And that's the cultural difference, that you got to protect your drugs and you can't call the cop. Hey, somebody stole my drugs. You can't, honestly. So you got to be able to protect this shit. And so that's where the cultural change is, and that's where the difference is. But those kids that are drug dealers, they're entrepreneurs.
Yes,
they're hard workers, and they're out to make money. Now, being involved in drugs and getting hooked on drugs, that's all a bad thing. My sister died as a heroin addict. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a lot of, a long time ago, but there's a lot of that in my family. But I really think it's hard to put the fact it's bad for you and it's illegal aside, but if you put all that aside, that's a hell of a job. That's a hell of a job. It's a lot of responsibility.
And they stay up late too. They stay up to the next day.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
And they're on call.
Yeah.
And the customers they're dealing with are not always nice. Where I delivered newspapers was more than a mile away from my house, dirt roads, and these people would stiff me for the money. It was like 45 cents for a week of papers, 45 cents. I'd collect, they wouldn't pay me. Next week I'd collect, they wouldn't pay me. Come 4 weeks, they're like ducking down and shutting the windows when I come up to collect. And I had to pay for their paper. I didn't get it for free. Yeah. I'm buying these things because the way they do it, the money's not going directly to the Flint Journal. The money's going, I'm paying for, 120 papers, whether they pay me or not. It's up to me to get mine. So I have to pay them out of my profit. And I'm making 15 to 25 cents an hour. So if somebody stiffs me for 45 cents, it's a couple hours work.
Yeah.
And you get a few of those that stiff you. And I was not in a good neighborhood. I mean, it was dirt roads. It was poor people. I mean, if you're stiffing a paper boy for 45 cents, you know what I mean? That's a poor neighborhood. That's a poor neighborhood.
You should have went and talked to the little drug dealer boy, and he would have pistol whipped him for you.
That's what I need. You're right. He would have taught me how to. You need an enforcer.
You should have made some connections on the other side.
Yeah.
Get his mama free papers, and he come pistol whip people.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what. I delivered the year we had one of the biggest snowstorms ever in Flint, where they actually shut down the roads. We had 3 to 4 feet of snow in the middle of the roads. There were snowmobiles going up and down. The whole city shut down for like 4 days straight. I think it was back in 1966 or 67 back in there. It's infamous. I mean, their houses were snowed in up to the roof lines. And it all started on Thursday, which is the heaviest day of the newspaper. I got my feet wet because I walked through, I took a shortcut and I got water in my boots at the beginning of the route. And I'm walking through all this snow, and it takes me forever. And the last few houses, the houses sat back more than 100 yards off the road. I put the newspaper in their mailbox. I thought, I'm going home. You know, I'd been out there for like 2.5 hours. I'm crying. Tears are coming down my face and freezing. Snow's coming down. I can barely walk down the street. I'm not walking up all these freaking individual driveways and back. I'm not going to do it. I put it in their mailbox. Do you know they reported me for putting it in the mailbox? They're pissed. And they're paying like 5 cents a day. And I'm like, it's snowing out. You're lucky you got a paper at all. It's horrible. It was a horrible experience.
That's so funny.
By the time I walked back home, I'd been crying. I had been crying for an hour on the route, but I got all the papers delivered as far as I was concerned. They were delivered. I took a shower, got in bed, took off my clothes, got in bed, just went to sleep. It was like early, 8:30 at night or something, but it was dark out. I got in bed. I said, I don't care. And wouldn't you know, my lights flip on. I goes, Ted, Ted, Ted. And I open up my eyes, and I swear to God, the 5 most popular girls from my class in high school or junior high or whatever it was, 9th grade, I think, were all standing around my bed in my bedroom. Aww. I was butt naked, laying in the bed with dried up tears still on the side of my face. And all these pretty girls standing around my bed. I'm like, hello, what's going on? What is going on?
What were they there for?
My older sister was on the basketball team with them, and the parents couldn't make it up to school, and somehow my dad made it up to school, so he picked them all up, brought them back to our house. And they were snowed in for 3 days at our house. And they're like, Ted, get out of bed. See this pull-up bar? Can you come do some pull-ups? And I'm thinking, I'm naked. I'm 14 years old naked. I'm not getting out to bed.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, that's a true story. That really happened. But in any case, that was my paper route story.
That's nice. I wanted a paper route, but my mom, I was a girl, so she was like, no, you can just go rub your auntie feet for $10 a week.
Yeah, go sell some drugs.
Yeah, okay. That too.
Here, I'll show you this. You might, since we're talking about this.
Okay.
Those are, that's actually a list of my jobs that I've had.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I started sweeping sidewalks when I was a little bitty kid for nickels and dimes.
How fun was the sorority house server?
That sucked because, well, I'll tell you why. Because, all the sorority girls kind of had money. Their papas were buying them, paying for their tuition and giving them cars to take down to school. Mm-hmm. I was a guy shoveling asphalt to stay in school so I didn't go to Vietnam. And I was living down the hood by myself in the summers working so I could get back to school. And I was their servant. Oh, I had to eat in the kitchen, and that's how I got paid. If I was willing to be a busboy, bring all the plates out and take all the plates back to the kitchen, I got to eat a meal in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
So that job actually sucked. It felt like I was a servant to all my peers because, I knew the girls. I was in a fraternity, so I knew them. But during dinner, I was their runner. I was the waiter.
You almost should get slave reparations for this, Ted. Like, you sounding blacker and blacker the more you tell me about your life.
I know. I'm waiting for that white privilege to kick in.
Okay. It didn't kick in until you became a...
Yeah. For a long time.
Yeah, you had the white privilege and kick in to the end of this paper right here. You did apartment maintenance?
Yeah, I actually, I was young and I was married, and my ex-father-in-law owned some apartment buildings, and they were getting old, and the framing of the apartment, which was wood, was sinking. So all the windowsills were tilted down, so when it rained, the water was going into the apartment. So I had to remove all the sills off 2 stories of this huge complex, and take them in and have them cut down and reset them on the apartment complex. So I spent, months doing that.
Oh, wow. If you ever need a job, you can come talk to me.
Yeah.
I can get you a
Working on
job.
apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
You'll be in the hood though. In the
Yeah.
ghetto, and they cuss you out when you come wake them up at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. How much does this pay?
Based off your experience as a servant,
Yeah.
we got the hot 965 for you.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't mind having a job. I wouldn't mind having a job if it was fun. Mm-hmm. But I think really what's fun for me now is talking to people. Okay. I like people. And if it's not fun, I'm not sure I'm going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I completely, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like an adventure. Now, I've always said that things are not an adventure unless there's some discomfort. It's like riding my motorcycle, you know, to Sault Ste. Marie. I can get in my car and put on the cruise control and it'll take me there. Right. Sit in a comfortable seat. Why am I sitting on this motorcycle out in the wind and out in the weather and getting bugs and, you know, having to stop for gas and it's loud and it's annoying? I mean, it's because it's an adventure. And right. So I don't mind some discomfort. I was living in my little teeny RV for 3 months, sleeping at truck stops when I got a king-size bed at home with air conditioning. But I'm in an RV. But it was an adventure. It was a lot of fun. I wouldn't give it up for anything. Right. And just riding down the road with the window down, I enjoy that. I think you got to have adventure. I think you can't just go, okay, I'm going to go sit in this plush palace someplace. Do you think the really wealthy people just want to sit in luxury, or do you think they want something that's a challenge?
The way they act, they want to sit in luxury. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm starting to learn that, but it's so hard to see it that way when you've always experienced poverty. So It's like challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. You get tired of the challenges. You just want to live. You know what I'm saying? So, But I am becoming more comfortable with discomfort because it really pushes you into a new space in your life. Yeah. Yeah, I love discomfort now. That's one thing I embrace. Make me uncomfortable, please.
Yeah.
You know? So.
You know, when my parents told me never to come home again when I was in college. And so I lived down on Stevens Street, downtown Flint, which used to have houses on it back before the expressway. And honest to God, the house was divided up into 4 apartments, 2 on the bottom and steps right in the middle, up to 2 on either side upstairs. And at the top of the steps was the room that was like a closet that had a bathtub. Not a shower, had a bathtub. And each apartment was just a big room with a closet, a teeny little kitchen that was 6 feet by 6 feet with a little nothing oven. And it had a toilet and a sink in the bathroom, but no shower. So we all had to share the bathtub. And across me, I had an alcoholic butcher. The lady below me, they took her away to an insane asylum. And the guy down on the other side below me had got out of Jackson prison after 20 years, which means he was in for murder. If you spend 20 years in, you know, and we are sharing a bathtub. And I'm hitchhiking to work to shovel asphalt every day. One day I get home and I fill up the bathtub. I'm sitting my ass in the bathtub thinking, you know, everybody else's butthole is sitting in the exact same spot as mine. I'm getting to know these people more than I want to, and I'm not even seeing them. No, honestly. And, you know, I didn't have shit. I didn't have a car. And if I didn't save enough money up to go back to school, I had to go to Vietnam because my draft number is 25. So I was highly motivated. So I'm hitchhiking to work to do construction. And I'm coming back, and I'm saving every penny I can so I can pay my tuition, so I can stay in school, so I don't have to go to Vietnam. So I was highly motivated because I knew what the alternative was, and I didn't want to be a target. I didn't want to go sleep in the swamps and have people shooting at me, and I didn't want to be killing men, women, and children in Vietnam. I didn't want to be part of that whole equation. That was not my thing. So I was highly motivated, but like you said, I was as poor can be. I mean, I was eating a can of corn and a piece of bologna for dinner. You know what I mean? I didn't have shit.
No, you didn't.
No, I know. I know. When I finally became a foreman in the shop right after I graduated, I remember when the skilled trades guy would come over to your department to work on something, they'd expect you to buy him a coffee. Coffee was 10 cents. was like, I ain't buying you no coffee. I'm buying you. Look I got kids. I got a wife that doesn't work. I got a house. I'm not giving away no money.
You know, coffee.
No, not me. Buy your own coffee. I mean, you give me a dime, I'll go fetch it. But I'm not paying for your coffee. You're doing your job. You're hired. You're paid a good salary. Be over here fixing my machine. Fix the machine. I want to hear about it. You gotta give my money.
Oh my God.
Well, I was poor. You know what? If you've been poor, you don't give away money.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
Because you've been without money. I mean, you've had weeks where a loaf of bread and peanut butter, I'm going to make it through the week. You know what I mean?
And it's amazing how that could follow you all your life.
Well,
because
it's still with me.
I've asked you for money several times. You've told me. You told me no every time.
Well, all depends on what you're going to do.
And I know you got it. I know you got it.
Yeah, well, I'm running out of it. Depends on how long I live. You know, if I only live till next week, I'm living high on the hog. If I make another 30 years, I'm in trouble.
That's so funny.
I'm going to be turning my dogs out. I don't know what I'm going to do.
They are nice breeders, though. You can breed them.
Yeah, they're both fixed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, you know what? The deal is you can't put them at a doggy daycare unless they're fixed.
A doggy. You got money for a doggy daycare?
Well, what do I do with my dogs when I leave?
You're gonna let them roam in the basement, then come back.
So if I go away with Billy for 3 months, I just put the dogs in the basement with a whole bunch of food?
Yes.
Let them shit all over the basement?
Yes.
Where are you living?
In the hood. I told you what my dogs. I told you what my dogs experienced.
No.
They dug low for gunshots too. Yeah, they some rough dogs.
Well, tell me now. Hold it. You had a cute dog that you put on Facebook that had gone lost. What kind of dog was that?
He was a Italian Mastiff.
Wow.
Yes.
Italian Mastiff.
Yes.
That's a tough little pit bull, isn't it?
Kinda, yeah. And you could put him in the pit bull family.
Yeah.
But he was going to get really big, like really big.
Oh.
So, yeah, I know.
What makes him Italian? Did he come from Italy? It's just got to be a breed. It's not really.
I think it's the dark circles around his eyes.
Yeah. And the fact he smokes a cigar.
Okay. And he makes
whiskey.
a mean thing of spaghetti.
All right. We named him Guido.
No, his name was Gotti.
Really?
Yes, we named him Gotti.
Yeah, that's appropriate, isn't it?
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
such a little cute little thing.
Now, where did you get him?
We got him from some people we did some business with, like as far as construction, and they were showing us a picture of their dog, and he was like, she's gonna have some puppies in a couple years. So we waited a couple years for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And so
well, that had to be an expensive dog.
yes, he was got him from like a little bit past Saginaw, going
Okay.
towards Bay City.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But you knew the family or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yes.
And did they breed the dog on purpose with another dog of the
Yep.
same breed or
Yes.
something? How does that work? Do you know?
I don't know. It seems disgusting.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just kind of hook them up, just like invite somebody over for the weekend, you know? Give them something to drink. I don't know.
No, I don't know how that works. I think they had a girl, and then the girl had a little boy, and the little boy grows up, and then they made it with the mother again. And
Oh, they're
then
incestuous.
Yes, most dogs are.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is probably a product.
I don't know if I'm down with that. I don't know that that's good, you know?
You know what? It seems wrong in the human form.
You think?
But the thing
But I
about
got a good-looking brother I'd like to tell you about. What?
it wouldn't be so bad if we made money off of it like the dogs do. Seriously.
You're going to be out there selling offspring now. I don't think you can do that, Veronica. I think there's laws.
You like my sister? I can make one just like her.
Oh, God. This is so wrong. She's just kidding, folks. She's not going to do this.
I'm broke as hell. I might be kidding if somebody
Now, hold
interested.
it. Did you, you showed up at a show with a real cute girl one time. I think it was your sister, wasn't it?
Real cute girl. How long ago was this?
Oh, God. I think it was at outside of Bonto's show down at Tenacity.
That was my niece.
Oh, she's really cute.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, super nice, too.
Okay.
Seemed very nice.
For $600.
$600?
For 600, she's really, really cute. Really, really
$600
cute.
or 600 pounds? What? 600 what?
Which one is more expensive? You went to school. You went to school more than I did. Which one? It's gonna get me a house like this. No, she is a cutie, and and then she's my niece through marriage. We grew up.
She
together.
has to be because she's not. Well, it's not like she's 25 years younger than you or something.
No, she's not. Like she's a year younger than me.
Yeah, and she's your niece, so that's kind of weird. Unless you have really old siblings.
I do. My brother is. I want to say he's mid-40s.
That's not old.
It is.
I have a daughter that age. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Just saying.
He's about 20 years older than me. So it's like.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Well, you're a youngster.
Yeah.
God, I guess I never realized that. You seem so self-confident and mature. I always thought you were maybe pushing 30, 29, 30, 31, 32, because you seem like you got your shit together.
As much as I ask you for money, Ted, you thought I was 29, 30.
Yeah.
I asked you for money like a teenager going to prom.
You aren't really asking. You aren't really. I figure you're just joking with me. You aren't really asking me for money. Good God.
No, I am. My siblings, like, we're years apart. Like, my sister is 7 years older than me. But my mom and my dad, they had me when they were in their 40s and stuff. So. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Good for them. Now, hold it. Are your sisters same parents?
No, we all have.
You're all step.
Yeah, basically we're all half siblings.
Yeah, we got a lot of that going on in our family too.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool until they show you the other half. You be like, ooh, I don't like that person. Who is them? Mama didn't raise us like that. That's your other bloodline. Who are you?
Okay, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Total?
If you count all that, all the halves, if you put them all together.
10, and I'm the youngest on both sides.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, do you ever have an activity, a family reunion where you all get together?
Well, yeah, when we're speaking.
We are pissed.
No, well, 6 of them are on my dad's side. And then the other 7 of them are on my dad's side. And 3 are on my mom's side.
Okay.
So I'm more active with the ones I grew up in the house with.
Right. But
I mean, I would love to hang out with them when we're all speaking.
Yeah. Well,
like I said.
Yeah. All right. That comes and goes, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I just went to a wedding. My first wife had a baby after we were divorced. Her only half siblings were my 2 kids that lived with me half the time.
Okay.
So when my kids would come over for Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner, we'd invite her to come too. That way she could be with her brother and sister, because she's really close with her brother and sister, because they lived with her mom half the time. But all of a sudden they'd have to leave to come to my house, and she'd be like, I'm alone with mom. But on special occasions, she'd come over. So she spent a lot of time with us, and would spend the night or whatever. We're going someplace for the holidays. She'd be with us. She's like part of the family.
Nice.
She just got married here. She married a really nice guy with a super nice family, very wealthy, but very down to earth, very easy to talk to. But they live in like Malibu, and they have a vineyard in Napa. And I hope it isn't burning down right now, by the way. Okay. But he trades coins. He sold a coin for $9,800,000.
Really?
One coin.
Really?
That's kind of he's probably the top coin trader in the country, as far as I know. But they have a lot of money. But the only reason I mention that is because they were so nice. You would think people with that kind of money might be kind of stuffy or look down at you or talk down to you. Mm-hmm. I was invited to the wedding. I went out there. Couldn't have been nicer. And not only the parents, but all the siblings of the husband and everybody. Mm-hmm. You could tell that they were all real classy people. But they were okay with us country bumpkins from Flint, Michigan, honestly. And I'm as sophisticated as anybody in the family. I mean, it only goes downhill for me, but they were okay with it. And they were very kind and generous and very nice. And it was nice to be included, even though she really wasn't my child. She's not even my stepdaughter.
Right.
But in my mind, she is. And I got invited. So in her mind, she is too. And I told her, I feel honored to be invited. She said, Ted, you were a big part of my family and my growing up and stuff. So that's very sweet. And actually, that paper rose on the front of that thing is from her wedding. They set them on all the seats at the wedding when we were in the.
That's nice.
thing. Yeah, they made all these little paper roses.
That's
so
nice.
yeah, but very, very nice to be included. It's nice to have that feeling of inclusion, and it doesn't always happen. Family is funny because family's family. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. And I got people in my family that I haven't seen in years, and I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you just got to cut people free, don't you think?
I agree. I just kind of got reunited with my family. We had to take a break, reevaluate some things.
Yeah.
And, just go into our own separate things. Unfortunately, it happened after tragedy. I think the break kind of made our relationships stronger because now we respect each other more as an adult, especially me, because everybody wants to treat the youngest like the baby.
And you're
like
always going to be the baby
kid,
unless you step away. But if you step away and come back as an adult, they're thinking, oh, this is a new person.
Yes.
She's on her own. She's, take care of her business. She's got direction. She has thoughts. I might disagree, but at least they respect you.
Yes.
For being an adult.
So I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you just told me about this coin, man. I feel so bad because my friend, he likes to collect quarters and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he was on the phone the other day and he was asking his phone because he talks into his phone and he was like, how much is he was like, how much is a 1967 quarter worth? And I
with
looked
D
at him
on it and this print, yeah.
I looked at him, I said, she gonna tell you 25 cents. But to know it's $9 million coins out here now, I will definitely support him in those endeavors.
Well, you know what? The guy was really cool. I talked to him about it and I said, how in the world do you get into that business? And what he said was he was in New York City. He was living in New York City and he was a kid and he started working at a coin shop. So he's around all these really kind of cool collectible coins. Mm-hmm. And he as new coins would come in, he'd purchase some of those coins and then he'd go around to other shops in New York City because there was a ton of them and he'd sell the coins to the other shops. And he found that because there was no internet and nobody kept up on all this stuff, nobody knew what everybody had, and different coins had different values to different people depending on who they were. And he could make money on the margin between buying it at one shop and selling it at another shop. And he made a business out of this until he made a career out of this, until he became a multimillionaire doing this. I mean, he's got a vineyard in Napa with a home and a guest house next to the home. And they have their own wines that they make. They have a whole crew of people that make wines for them. And that's not their main house. Their main house is in Malibu. So he's done really, really well. But the point is, he was an entrepreneur and he just started doing something he was interested in. It was kind of fun. He wouldn't make a lot of money.
Right.
He started out buying and selling quarters. Buy a quarter and then sell it for 45 cents and buy this. Now with the internet, I think it's probably harder.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more visibility to what prices are.
Yes.
You can check the whole world on Google and you know what I mean?
Right.
But back when he started, and he's about my age, so back when he started in the 60s or whenever it was, there wasn't that visibility.
Okay.
But the thing is, nowadays you can, there's a lot of ways to make money. I just started a merch account on Amazon. I'm selling T-shirts for my podcast.
Nice.
On Amazon.
Congrats.
Yeah. Now you don't make a lot of money, but it's good promotion. And you design the logo and they fulfill the orders, and you can decide if you want the high end stuff or the low end stuff or whatever. I figure if someone's buying a T-shirt, I'm going to give them the best quality T-shirt I can give them. So they can wear it. Yeah. I don't want a one and done dust rag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So there's a lot of ways to make money, but I think how you make money is changing because of the internet.
Yes, I definitely agree. So I just had a question about the coins. Were they like super spectacular coins, like from different countries, or?
I don't know. I looked up the dollar he sold, and it was like from the 1800 silver dollar.
Oh.
I mean, I've got 10 silver dollars here, and I looked them up, and they're all worth $4 a piece.
Okay.
Silver dollars.
Where you keep them at? No.
Do you want a souvenir? Do you want me to give you one when you leave? A souvenir? It's a $3 silver dollar. I'll give you a silver dollar.
Give me two because I want to play my numbers.
No, you're gonna spend them. No, actually, when my grandmother died, she had this collection of silver dollars, and she had about 20 of them, and they're genuine silver dollars, and they're like from like 1922. And I kind of, so I'm going, this is valuable. So I looked all the shit up, and it's not valuable. I mean, it's valuable to $4, $8 maybe. You know, it's not super valuable.
That's funny.
And so what I did is, instead of keeping them as a collection, like these are mine, I broke it apart, and I gave, when my dad died, because he had got it from his mom, when my dad died, I gave one to each one of my siblings and each one of the grandkids and a couple of his close friends that were at the funeral. I said, he'd want you to have something. Here, take this. Aww. And so I kind of gave them out as mementos, like something from my dad. I think when people die, it's sometimes you start getting sentimental and you think, I wish I had a keepsake from that guy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be valuable. I mean, $3, $8, and these aren't valuable, but it's something that belonged to him, that was important to him. And I think it's nice to be able to pass that on.
Yeah. When my mom died, I wanted to give her friends something of hers that they could hold on to. And then I thought about the fact that they owed her money, so I gave them an invoice. I said, the collection still continues. We need that about you.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, this is a true story. Actually, I'm the third. I'm named after my grandfather. And when he died, I wanted something of his. It would have been nice to have a watch that had his name engraved on it or something like that. And so I was never my grandmother's favorite. Let's make that clear right up front. And my grandmother had a mean streak. She was probably one of the meanest ladies you ever met. She enjoyed tormenting people, neighbors and whatever. And yeah, I was not her favorite. When I showed up on my bicycle at 8 years old with my buddy, and we had gone to his grandmother's house, she's like, "Oh, I'll give you some pie. Come on in," that kind of thing. We showed up at my grandmother. She's peeking out the door, going, "What are you doing here?" So anyhow, when Grandpa died, when Ted died, I stopped by and talked to her, and I said, I'd love to have something, and I could pass it on to my son that had Grandpa's name on it or whatever, or anything that belonged to him. And she said, I got something for you. And she went in the other room and came back out, and she gave me a Hamity sack, which is a paper sack from the grocery store, filled with his underwear. That's a true story. His BVDs. You know what? I was so poor, they fit.
You wore them.
Hell yeah. I washed them and wore them. I thought, well, it's not what I was looking for. I'll probably get a couple years out of them at least. I'm not dating that much right now anyhow.
Do you have any pair left?
No, I don't. You know what I do have? When my grandfather died, or when my dad died, though, they were kind of musical. They used to sing in harmony and stuff, and Grandpa had a banjo ukulele, and that my dad used to play a little bit, and he taught me to play when I was little. And up on that counter, you'll see a banjo ukulele.
Nice.
And that was from Grandpa. And I tore it apart and refinished all the surfaces. It had been painted green, and I got it back to natural metal. Nice. And then I found a stamp that had my grandfather's signature on it. He actually was director of public works for the city of Flint.
Oh, nice.
And so he had to sign things. His secretary had a stamp which had his real signature on it, and my dad happened to keep it. So I stamped his signature on it, and my dad had one made up too, and I stamped his signature on it, and then I personally signed it. So when I pass, my son can have it, and my son plays guitar. He's a singer-songwriter, and I've given him guitars and stuff, and so then he can have that. So I did end up with something to pass on other than Grandpa's BVDs.
That is crazy. It's so nice how white people get stuff like that when people die.
Like underwear?
Underwear and ukuleles and all that. Like, we get like the canister our mama kept the weed in and stuff. Like, I'm going to hold on to this canister for life. I'm going to always keep my weed in it. I'm going to refinish it.
What'd Daddy do with a spoon, anyhow?
I didn't get anything from
Come on, you had to get something from him.
I did get something from my dad.
Jewelry, some bracelet, something.
He took his pimp ring off for me and gave it to me.
Your dad was really a pimp.
Yes.
Really, seriously a pimp. He had like girls that worked for him and stuff.
Well, I mean, they didn't know they was working.
But he did.
What sealed the contract was the baby. That's where all these siblings come from.
But you ended up with a ring.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, that's cool. Do you ever wear it?
Yes, I do. Is it real big and gaudy, or is it something you can actually wear? It's a horseshoe. And it's gold. It's all gold.
Oh, cool.
I'm like nugget type of gold.
Yeah.
But it's too big since I've lost weight in my fingers, and I don't want to lose it. And even when I put the ring thing on there to keep it, it still slides.
Yeah.
So I'll wear it as a necklace every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or I'll put it on when I gotta smack a hoe.
Just so you know, I'm here to smack a hoe.
leave you with a horseshoe on your cheek right there. Good luck.
It's only funny because I'm sure it's true. All right, that's going to do it for our show for the day, and I want to thank Veronica Douglas for coming in and making it such a good one. She's going to be back with us for part 2 next week. We're going to learn all about her comedy career, and our first set ever was a headlining set for 30 minutes. Who does that? She's a very entertaining lady. I hope you join us for that one. Also, don't forget to go to Amazon.com and pick up your TED Talks Too Much gear. And as you notice, I always advocate for the people in Flint with their water problem. You also find a TED Talks Too Much t-shirt that says Flint Lives Matter with a water gun on it. So you can pick that up too at Amazon.com. Just go to TED Talks Too Much and type in t-shirt or whatever you want to get. And until we talk again, be good to each other out there and try to be happy. And till next time, I'm Ted Moss, and those are my thoughts. And with that, Bob's your uncle.